I don't have the secret about dating, but I think that it's important to be the type of person that's willing to truly love like Christ, right?
Welcome back. We have another amazing interview for you from the Marriage Catechumenate Summit here in Houston, Texas. Today, we're talking to a local priest, Father Victor Perez, pastor of St. Joseph Catholic Church right outside of downtown Houston. We talk about the challenges of serving two very different communities and the success they've found in their own marriage prep. We hope you enjoy this behind-the-scenes interview and keep an eye out for the full documentary coming soon. Cue music. Father Victor, so thank you for being with us today.
My pleasure, Darnell.
And you are at a parish that serves a pretty young demographic, young professionals in the heart of Houston, the downtown, midtown area. And so I'm sure people in that segment, in that part of their life, are searching for marriage, they're searching for a relationship, they're searching for the fullness of the vocation, whether that leads them to the religious life or to the married life. And what have you found are some of the key elements of what they need to be thinking about and what they need to be searching for to find the truth in those vocations?
They need to be following Christ and what he teaches us of love. Love is sacrifice. It's a gift of self. And it's that agape love, Basically, a lot of people still have hardness of heart because we're following the way of the world, which is inundated with things like pornography and just our culture, which sees love more as just a feeling, right? And just kind of pleasure when it's the opposite. There's a pleasure part of marriage, but you get in there to die to self, to lay down your life and build a family. So it's teaching people what their mission is, and Christ is calling them to this life of service and sacrifice in the covenant of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At St. Joseph, you're serving two different communities. And I know a lot of people would say like two very different communities, but not necessarily, because they're all searching for the same types of things. You're serving a largely Hispanic population, and then a largely Anglo young population too. And kind of what are some of the ways in which you have to shift focus as you're focusing, shift focus or perspective as you're addressing the needs of a particular group, and in which ways do they overlap?
Well, we have a really good program, Hispanic. It's called Movimiento Familiar Cristiano, Christian Family Movement, and that really you have couples that are committed, and they get other couples, and they get in their groups, and they learn. And I meet with the community, with the leaders, once every 2 weeks to go over what they're going to say, what they're going to teach. So it's been a great way for me as a pastor to be close to them. But I'll also get some of these two couples that are Christian Movimiento to be mentor couples of my engaged couples. So we'll use the same program, Witness to Love, for instance, or same marriage prep program in English and Spanish, and then they can minister to couples that are engaged. And then those couples that get married will be newlyweds, and we can invite them and their mentors to a program together where it's, crosses boundaries, of just Hispanic or Anglo, but it's really the love of Christ.
There's a bigger unifier behind all the distinctions that we've decided to make up, and that unifier is Christ.
Right.
And when Christ is that unifier, it calls us to move beyond ourselves, to beyond the limits or the fences we've set off for what our communities can do or who we interact with.
We're bringing them to adoration,
love.
Here, let's all kneel before love itself, Christ in the Eucharist. And I can say some message in English and message in Spanish, but there's different ways. The Eucharist is what should be unifying us.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So you work with a lot of young adults. What are some of the things that you notice might be getting in the way of them finding some of these relationships?
I do see a lot of growth in our young adult ministry in my parish and the other parishes, and there's a culture being created of people being together, getting to know each other, like holy friendships, hopefully coming out of these, healthy dating, where here's a place where you can meet somebody that shares your values. But I think that men need to see their mission too, and seeing dating is not as this big thing, but really just you show charity and love to whoever you just want to get to know that person, right? I don't have the secret about dating, but I think that it's important to be the type of person that's willing to truly love like Christ, right? Mm-hmm. And so men and women both have to fight against their own insecurities, selfishness, bad vices, which lust that kind of gets in the way of seeing the other, like as John Paul says, like as an end of themselves, as somebody to be loved, not used.
Yeah, I know something that you said earlier was the key to all of this was to love with Christ's heart, right? To not have a hardened heart, yes. But to love the way Christ loves us. Which
it's the secret.
It seems so simple,
yeah,
but it's infinitely complex because it requires us to die to self in ways that we're not comfortable with.
Right.
To end this, what are some of your hopes that might come out of this summit? What are your hopes for the future of the church and marriage?
Really, my hopes would be like lay people really in couples that are married to really see how they can help shepherd younger couples, that they really be strong in their faith, that they would, more than ever, it's not just about getting married, and it's also about being parents, more than ever, our children need to be taught by their parents. You can't just, we say you promise to educate them. Well, what does that mean? Putting them on the school bus? No, educate, you have to talk to them about your faith, get them prepared. So I guess that married couples see the importance of their mission and creating a family and forming that family, how they can change the world if they just help one couple be stronger. And then those who are in young adult ministry, helping those people to really want to love with the heart of Christ, seeing priests really, hold up that ideal of true love, of the heart of Jesus, that self-sacrificial love. That, as Joseph Kinzenick says, it's a personal love. You love the whole person, not just part of the person, that something in them that you like, but no, the whole person. That's what we're called to truly love like Christ, and it brings joy to us.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're welcome, Darnell. My pleasure.